What's up guys? Do you want to learn how to farm for resources, weapon drops, and mods with just 4 simple frames? Well, this is how I'm going to teach you. That's right, you're watching this video. So, step 1, the warframe. Let's go over here to our arsenal, and as you can see, the one I have equipped, Necros, is the definitive best frame for farming. Why? Let's read his third ability, Desecrate. Forces fallen enemies around you to drop additional loot at a 54% chance extra loot. So that might not seem that good, right? But with how many enemies you'll be killing in survival missions, this is an insanely high number. And let's just take a look at the build that I have running. It's quite simple, just a range build. And again, if you want to see the mods that affect each thing, quite literally just click on it. Boom! You'll see all the range mods. Now, as we can see here, we have pretty standard mods, right? Except for this one, an augment mod. Which begs the question, what is an augment mod? Well, let me show you guys. If we take a step right over here to the Syndicate tab, we can see that, well, one, I'm not an orbiter, so I'll definitely show you guys where it is an orbiter. It is to the left of your navigation console. But here we can see that if I interact with the syndicates, and let's take a look at Arbiters of Hexes for example, you can see that they all have different mods. So let's just take a look at Primal Rage for example. This is an augment to Wukong's Primal Fury, in which it changes it so that killing an enemy increases the critical chance by 15%, which decays by 1% every second. So you can see that augment mods quite literally change the fundamental way the ability works, or they just alter it in a slight way. So for Necroses, we're going to want to look at Red Veil, and of course for all augment mods you want to reach the max level. So if I search up Despoil here, you'll see I have it, but yet I'm low rank. So how did I get this? Now of course the answer is trading with other players. But then the question is, where do I go to trade? Step 1, do not go here. Never go to trade chat, just disable this. Instead what you want to do is go to this website called warframe.market, and you can search up Despoil at the very top and you'll find the mods that you need. Now of course, before you do any of this, to get Necros, you have to obviously fight the boss on Deimos. You have to fight Lephantis. And he's a pretty standard boss, just got 2 phases. Ignore the steel path modifiers, so he's pretty low level. You guys can do it, I believe in you. But yeah, Necros is the first frame that you will most likely get in order to farm for resources. Now, the next frame you guys will most likely get won't actually be a direct farming frame. Instead, it will be Nova. Why? Well, if we take a look at the star chart here, if we go over here to Europa, Nova can be found on this assassination mission with the Raptors. And there's quite a few different Raptors that you can fight, but it's still a pretty easy boss battle. But why did I say that Nova isn't actually a farming frame? Well, let's take a look at her 4th ability, Molecular Prime. What this does is, to summarize it, is if you tap the ability, it will slow down enemies. If you hold it, as you guys can see, it's going to speed it up by 75%. Well, I guess they're both 75%, right? This speed up is crucial to farming in a survival mission. Now, for the build I will be showing you guys, it's pretty high investment, as you can see with 4 formas, which I don't even know if you guys have yet. So you can replace 1 or 2 mods with whatever you want. For example, Prime Continuity you don't really need. Prime Flow you don't really need. You don't really need, honestly kind of need the other, these 4 mods. You don't need Streamline, you don't need Speed Drift. Okay, if you want, you guys can simply go for duration and range and you'll be happy. But make sure you need enough strength to make sure that percentage goes up to 75%. And you need that radius to be huge, because it's a whole bubble, right? So the whole diameter of that, it's a sphere, not a bubble, right? Diameter is going to be huge, like 170 meters. That's more than enough. So don't worry too much about range. Duration is pretty necessary too, because that does scale the radius as well, and the duration of the effect. As you can see, it's 83 seconds, which is humongous. But yeah, Again, the best part about Nova is this build does not require a singular augment mod. It's just purely corrupted mods and drift mods. Of course, these ones will be a bit harder to get compared to the corrupted mods, but I will hopefully be showing you guys how to get those as well. So yeah, Nova's pretty straightforward, pretty easy warframe you can get. Now, the last star chart warframe you can get easily, or I guess relatively easily, is Hydroid. And how you're gonna get him is once you hit Mastery 5, you're gonna go to Earth, right? Ignore these red spots. And you're gonna unlock all the way until Oro here. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna fight the Vahek Terraframe. You're gonna defeat him easily because you are gonna be strong. You're gonna be pro at this game, right? Then once you beat him, you're gonna get your Hydroid parts. And again, Hydroid is similar to Necros, but slightly different. And again, he does use an augment mod. So let's take a look at his build first. First of all, as you can see, we're building for strength, not range. Strength is pretty useful. Duration is also very useful because you're just going to spam your 4th ability. Why? Because they're going to hold up enemies, as you can see in the little animation playing. And when the enemies die, because we have Pilfering Swarm, if you guys read this, augment. Enemies held by tentacles have a 100% chance at additional drops. That is higher than Necros' 54%. But Necrosis has such a huge range and it's guaranteed, it's a lot better, right? So Hydroid is also insanely helpful because it will guarantee that you have a chance of getting the rare drop that you want or just the material that you want when enemies are held up by the tentacle. And again, all you need to do is just press 4, press 4, press 4, press 4, press 4. And of course, to get his mod, you're going to want to go to Cephalon Suda. If you just search it up, Pilfering Swarm, there you go, boom. And remember, all the mods sold by these guys are unranked, so you will need a really tiny amount of endo and credits to rank it up. But yeah, that is the third and last frame that you can get from the star chart. So now let's go on to arguably the hardest grind. And here we have it, the hardest warframe to grind for if you're trying to farm. And how are you going to grind for Korra? Well, let me tell you. Once you finish the star chart, you'll unlock something called Sanctuary Onslaught. You'll have two, Elite and Regular. Regular has rewards in the AABC reward tier list as usual. It's a pattern. And you get rewards every 2 waves that you complete. These are timed waves, they're like 2 minutes long. And the way it works is on the 8th wave, you will have a chance to get a part for Korra. So you guys can see how it becomes a hassle there. But eventually you guys will just keep doing your farm and eventually you'll get it. Of course, the other way to get it is if we go to the Void Relics here, we search up Korra, you can get it from all of these different relics. Boom, boom, pow. Right? You could obviously get Korra Prime before you get regular Korra. Or if she's not available right now, you can go to the market. And if you instead of featured, you click Prime Resurgence, you can see what warframes are available from here too. You see we have Hildren and Wisp available now. But let's get on with the build. So the build for Korra, she's similar to Hydroid, in which you're using her 4. But if you notice, she's the opposite. You're building for max range, max duration, but low strength. This is because you don't want this to do damage. Instead, you want the Strangle Dome to just hold the enemies in it, because then your Pilfering Strangle Dome will come into play, in which it's a 65% chance of dropping additional loot, but you guys do see how that's lower than 100%. So the question is, why would you use this over Hydroid? Well, it's because she also has things like Whip Claw and Ensnare. Ensnare is good for Steel Path specifically. But again, if you read the grab radius, 21 meters, that's the radius of enemies that can get sucked into the Razor Dome. As you can see in this little animation playing, there's an enemy that's just getting yoinked straight into the dome. That is the grab radius. So the real radius is technically 30 meters, which is significantly larger than Hydroid's. So of course there are some benefits, some downsides to using both, but ultimately it comes down to whichever one you feel like using. And of course, to actually get the augment mod, it's going to be at the Seal Meridian. You're going to have to be max rank, as I've been saying. And boom, Pilfering Strangle Dome, right there. So yeah guys, those will be the 4 warframes that you can farm for. And now I'll actually demonstrate just how each and every one of them work. Now, as I was talking about, let's take a look at exactly how all these abilities work. So first we have Necros. So as you can see here, when I kill an enemy, they just drop a health orb, nothing else happens, okay? Now if I use my third ability, watch their corpse. It pops and it gave me another health orb. Let's kill another enemy. It'll drop, and then a sound effect will play, and again, this is not a guaranteed extra drop. But as you can see, they will slowly start popping, and yep, that gave me more health, that gave me more health. And that's basically how Necros works. He just pops the corpses and makes more loot come into existence, basically. Now, with Nova, her whole gimmick relies on manipulating the enemy speed. So, I'm not going to pause the AI, I'm going to simulate 20 enemies. And as you can see, they walk relatively slowly. You see, this one walks slowly. But if I hold 4, look at how fast they move. You can see how fast their little cute little legs are like ding, 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 ding. You know, like little sound effect from cartoons. But yeah, this is the whole point. So if I'm standing over here and I'm farming, I'm in my farming spot. If I keep using this ability, the enemies will all come a lot closer to me, and it will help the Hydroid / Korra and the Necros use their abilities right here in a shorter area, so that again we'll be able to farm them faster. Now with Hydroid, when we use his 4, you're going to see that we have to wait for the tentacles to actually grab the enemies. And again, you can actually hold the 4 to aim where it goes. So you see that? All the enemies are now on the tentacles, so now we can kill them. And you can see every single enemy has dropped something so far, whether it be ammo, energy, or HP. And that's basically how Hydroid works. So he's a lot more effective in terms of percentage based drops compared to Korra, but again, he does have less range. As you can see, it just goes from that wall there all the way to that wall over there. And now last but definitely not least is Korra. So for Korra's demonstration, I'm actually going to put the Strangle Dome over here, and you'll see how it will pull in enemies. You see how every single enemy just got pulled into it? Now again, this is not the same 100% chance as Hydroid, which people might think is bad because, oh no, low number is bad. But it's good because, again, with her too, if I can find a living enemy right here, you see how, oh well, I actually think I killed him by accident. Let's spawn a higher level enemy real quick. But as I was talking about earlier, you can see how when you get into a Steel Path mission, you'll be able to like just stop the enemy from moving entirely. And this is especially good for the incursions, or not incursions, the invasions that happen with the acolytes, and it allows you to get some crowd control, allows you to kill them a lot more efficiently. And also her 1 has synergy, so you can just slap her 1 somewhere on the frame here in the Strangle Dome, and it will hit every single enemy hooked by it. And yeah, that's the 4 main frames, that's how they work. So yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, I hope you guys learned. Hope you guys actually start farming for one of these frames, and it will help you in your future farms. But yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share the video for people that want to learn how to farm. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.